Hello again. Welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Compact Claustrophobia. So, since the last episode, it actually has not been a long time. I'm picking back up shortly after the last recording. I did go ahead and I made some caches and got them set up for... I think the main ones I placed down were gold and lead since the last episode, but I do have some more made up here. I also went ahead and took our chest of materials, or one of the chests. I still got a bit more to get out, but one of our chests of materials from over in the kind of the machine room, that first machine room that we had set up, and I moved it over here and switched it with the chest that was here, and I've had this running. And you can see it's working perfectly. I did go ahead and I added a servo here. This is kind of temporary. I don't think... I'll have to see once it starts running, but I really don't think we're going to need it. This was mainly because there was a lot of stuff in here. And with only one of these hardened servos, it was pumping out the gold to kind of keep these redstone furnaces going. But it was really slow about pulling out things like flint and nether quartz. So I went ahead and I added a second servo, but I probably will end up removing that in due time. And one thing I want to do that I forgot to do last episode is I want to go ahead and just apply hardened upgrade kits to these two furnaces. And I want to add in auxiliary reception coils. Just kind of speed these things up a bit and make this whole smelting process a bit faster. So with one of those, it smelts at a pretty decent rate. It'll definitely help us out as far as processing all of these materials. Now, I have not forgotten that we will be needing uranium grit and iron grit for making our small compact machines. We're going to be handling that today. Of course, this is only going to be a temporary thing because, of course, long term we are going to be making our compact machines through the miniaturization field projector once we get up to diamonds. Technically, we could push on to diamonds. It's not very far from our current point. But, like I said, I wanted to take some time and do some work with ore automation before just pushing on and just pushing progression nonstop. So, you can see lots more gold coming down with the redstone furnace speed upgrades added in. And this gold will get kind of taken care of a bit quicker. So now what we're going to do, and I did make more item ducts as well. I also pulled up the ones that I had placed over along this wall because it's really better that I place the caches first and then place in the item ducts. So I did pull those up for now, but they are going to be getting added back in. Okay, so what we're going to do, first and foremost, let's pop back into here. Our output and our management is working great. Now, there is one small thing that I want to add in as far as management goes. And let me actually go get... I've got a lot more loose metals I need to deal with, but I'll get those cleaned up. It's not a big deal. Let me go get some more wood. I love this farm room so much more than our old one, our little 3x3, because I always have the materials that I need ready to go in there. So we'll just pop in here. And I want to get... I'm going to go ahead and get 5 chests. I really only need 1 chest at the moment. But I'm sure I'll end up using these for more caches. And what I want to do is I want to set up a chest. And this chest is going to be setting... I'll tell you what we're going to do. What does it take to make the dense item ducts? For the dense, it's going to be 3 lead nuggets. Okay. Yeah, we're going to do that real quick. Let me grab that. I just need 1 of these at the moment. So there's that. And does this feature... Let's see. Let me pull off that. We're going to keep the servo here. Not have a servo here. Like I said, I don't think we're really going to need it. Once this gets up and going, and if we do end up needing it, like long term, if we end up adding, maybe 5 more machines, or we end up speeding these up to faster than a 2, which we probably will end up doing at some point. By that point, we'll probably upgrade to better servos. So, I don't think it's gonna. Gosh, I love seeing that. I love it. Now, silver is one I don't think that is slotted at the moment, so let me... Yeah, that's just going to start backing up in here, I think. Oh, no, we got silver slotted here. Never mind. That's actually probably... Yeah, it's getting pulled out and sent through. And this is the one I want to remove, in fact. I want to do that. And we're going to have a dense item duct. We're going to put it in right here. Nope. Don't even do that. Dense item duct there. So it's going to, basically what's going to happen is it's going to make this stuff up here a lower priority if it has to move through the dense item duct, and stuff that's on this side is going to be a higher priority because of the fact that it's not having to go through the dense line. Basically, dense creates, you can kind of think of it as, okay, you have 3 priorities within thermal. You have just a standard item duct, which we're just going to call that like neutral priority. Then you have like the vacuum item duct, which is kind of like your high priority stuff. And you have your dense item duct, which is like your low priority stuff. So we're going to set this, basically this whole line here, we want this to be a lower priority. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put in a chest. And this chest is going to set, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let me pop out, let me grab, give me like, honestly 18 should be fine. Because I don't have any iron grit at the moment, because I've used it all for compact machines. Let me throw this into the pulverizer. Okay, there's 11. That's actually plenty for what I want to do. And like I said, this is going to be a very temporary thing. We're not going to keep this for long term. So that's why I'm not doing anything overly fancy with it or storing up large amounts of this stuff. And what we're going to do is we're going to put in a chest here. Let's break that off. And inside of here, we're going to put in iron grit. We're going to put in, I know it's going to be sending me like random junk for a minute. We're going to put in dirt. So we're going to keep 6 stacks of iron grit, 6 stacks of uranium grit. I think that's going to be plenty because whenever it fills that up, and you can see it's sending uranium grit, because this actually had a bit in here, inside of this chest. But the purpose for this is it's going to prioritize and keep 6 stacks of these 2 types of grit and not process it down, and that's basically just for making our compact machines until we get an easier way, until we push on to diamonds, because I know making the next tier of compact machines is going to be very material intensive, and so I'd like to have our system, you know, set up to basically just passively keep this grit so I don't have to pulverize it, because we are going to be using it in mass early on. So that's in place, and then the next thing that I would like to do, what are we smelting right now? Is it still silver? Yeah, it's still silver. And tin. Okay, those are both slotted. Now the next thing I'd like to do is we are going to, let me get another dense item duct real quick. And what we're going to do, let's break off, let's break off this. We're going to put in a dense there. Break off that connection. Toss that in. Okay, so we've got our dense item duct over here. And what I want to do is I want to run out, this is going to be an item duct line, and we're going to connect it up here in just a minute. But for right now, what I want to do, if we take a look at the different picks, I know we're going to be using iron a lot. See, and I think there's a quest here. I know we're going to be using iron a lot. We probably will end up pushing into Constantine at some point, because that is the one that just produces, well, it's really not that big of a deal. When you have infinite of like all these materials, it's not really a big deal, I don't think. I think stone pick is what we're going to probably be using the most of, realistically. So I think what I'm going to do, let me pop out to here. And our igneous extruder, let's go ahead and just grab this for now. And of course it would fall back there. That's great. I just love it. Okay, so we're going to take our igneous extruder. We're going to set this up in this room. I'll probably end up making another one of these. I guess we don't really need this for obsidian. I just thought about, we could use the stone barrel too, I guess. Well, whatever. We need this thing anyways. I made it kind of for 2 purposes. Anywho. What we're going to do is we're going to set up our, let's see, we're going to set up our igneous extruder setting there. And let me go ahead and pop over. I'm going to break off this connection. I don't want that to connect at all. Igneous extruder, we're going to set this to cobblestone. And I've got to go get a bucket of lava and a bucket of water. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to go ahead and put in our water and our lava. Get that running and producing cobblestone for us. And then I'm going to have that pump out automatically in just a moment. Yeah, and that should be good. We're going to set up a cache to store the cobble as well, like store excess cobble. Because, of course, we are going to need that. I'm actually going to steal... go ahead and give me like a half stack. Because this is just going to infinitely create cobble for us. Do we want to go ahead and upgrade that? Yeah, why not? Let's go ahead and upgrade that. Because we're going to be using this cobble a little bit later for automating our sand and dust and stuff. And our gravel. We're going to have it pump out of this room into another room. Or, you know, back into that one room and then onwards. Or it might pump into a sub-compact room, actually. I don't know. We'll see. Because we're going to be kind of chaining these together a bit and kind of making this, like, compact line of things. Because, like, long-term, this compact machine right here, this whole room, is actually going to be a compact machine that's in our compact machine room that stores our storage system. Like, you know, and this will be like, oh, this is like metal production 1 or something, you know. So this one we can go kind of basic because we're going to have multiple metal production rooms, I do believe, that maybe specialize in different picks. This one I want kind of an all-purpose sort of thing. Now what we're going to do, let's see, let me go get some more wood real quick. And we're going to go ahead and make just a bunch of sticks. Now right now this is going to be the one manual thing that we have. It's like really kind of semi-manual. What I want to do is I want to set up our sequential fabricator. We're going to say it takes sticks and it takes stone and it makes stone pickaxe. And we're going to go ahead and set that recipe. So let's go ahead, upgrade these. I don't know though. I could do, because these are going to craft just fine. Let me turn that off for just a second. Let's actually break this down. I don't like this, and I mean it works fine, but it's going to be more expensive than what we really need. Like hands down, way more expensive than what we really need. We are going to put in, let's do a cache that sits right here, and we're going to say you can again auto output your cobblestone there. We'll lock that in. This is going to be just a lot cleaner overall, I think, if we do it this way. And let me pull off a lot of these energy conduits that we don't really need. And I'm actually going to bring this down here, since I've got to bring it over right there anyways. I'm going to bring it down there just to make this whole middle part a little bit less cluttered, because I'll probably be walking up here at the moment to reach our caches. Okay, so we're going to have that. We're going to have a sequential fabricator sitting here. This does have the pattern validation. We are going to say that you make cobblestone picks. And auto input enabled. There we go. And you can see it pulled in cobblestone, you know, that's going to go into these slots here, and then it's going to fill up this. And it's going to manage it all on its own. And this is just going to craft stone picks. And then from there, those stone picks will then get sent over. Boom, 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 like that. And we're going to say that on the bottom, you auto output. There you go. And that should be good. It's going to manage that for us. And then what we're going to do is, let me just dump all that cobblestone into there. That's going to fill out. And then we're going to add another sequential fabricator. And this one, we do need to run power over like that. That one's going to be pulling the cobblestone. We're going to have a chest that sets... we'll have a chest sitting here. And this is what's going to be really temporary. We're going to set this to the blue side. And what we're going to have to do is manually stock this with sticks at the moment. That's fine. And that's because we don't have any automatic system creating sticks. But these sticks go super far, so it's really not a big deal. So if I throw those into there, we give it a second, it's going to start pulling that in, and it's going to start making stone picks. And you can see that those stone picks then get sent out to the auto clickers, and now it's got one in here. It's going to stop crafting, right? And you can see that this is starting to smash metal and create ore. That's now going into here, and it's getting sent up, smelted, and then sent into storage. So all that's working great. And that's basically how the stone side's going to work. And then we'll just kind of upkeep sticks in this. Up until we get the point where we start automating wood, which really isn't going to be too far away, in all honesty. Now, the other side, this is going to be the side that handles the iron picks. What we're going to do, and I think I set that to a dense, yeah, that's a dense line, that's great. What we're going to do is we're going to put in, I'm going to need to make a filter real quick. And honestly, this filter right here will be great. Okay, so there's our filter. And I also want to go ahead and get a servo because we are going to, I think we're going to use them. Honestly, I don't remember now, but we'll see. So, but anyways, there's some servos. I got tired of having to stop to make item ducts all the time, so I just made a bunch of them. Magnesium and lithium. Yeah, and that's going to be our last couple of caches here. So let me go ahead and slot these in. Oops, no, don't want that. I want that. Magnesium, lithium. Set those. Item duct. And magnesium and lithium, what pick was it like for that kind of stuff? I don't remember. I don't think it was steel pick. Okay. We will probably set up a thing for steel picks as well, because they do cover a lot of our materials. We have space in this, and if worse comes to worse, I'll make another compact machine and set it into this one, or set it, probably just set them up back here, to be honest. But okay, so here what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead, do that. I don't want that to connect to the stone line. And then we're going to set up another item duct here. We're going to put in a sequential fabricator. This one's going to set here. We're going to have a chest that sits here. Input there. Auto input is enabled. And the recipe for this one is going to be, grab 2 of these. It's going to be iron picks. We'll go ahead and set that. And this chest is going to have iron in it. Now, one thing I'm going to do real quick, because I don't want to stockpile a ton of iron for this. Let me grab just a placeholder. And dirt dust is a perfect placeholder for us. So we're going to say keep 2 stacks of iron in this chest. And then we're going to put in an item duct here. This is going to have a filter. And we're going to say whitelist, iron only, prevent oversending. That's good. And then we're going to run this over. Now, since we have the dense item duct over on this side, that's making this kind of a lower priority, whenever it makes the iron ingots, it's going to send it over here. Now, bear in mind that it is prioritizing that iron grit going into here first, but you can see it's steadily filling up now that we have those stone pickaxes running. So here in a minute, it should start producing iron, and then it's going to start sending it then over into this and prioritizing sending it over here. Now, for right now, I'm going to grab just a little bit of iron from this. Let's go 30. That sounds good. Oh, I actually had a hardened servo. That's fine. But okay, so iron's going to get sent over here. I'm going to go ahead and just throw that into there. There we go. And it's going to dump it into here. And we're going to put a chest in on this side. Whoops. Oh, yeah. This is starting to... But I think it's because it's only moving 1 item at a time. Yeah. probably what we're going to do, just to kind of make this a bit better. We're going to throw that there, and we're going to throw in a hardened servo, because it's moving the stuff. It's just the extraction is pretty slow on this. Well, the only thing is we have that the dense item duct up there. But I could put a dense here. Yeah, we'll give it a little bit of time and see, because it does pull out like 16 at a time whenever it hits these up, so, you know, maybe it'll be okay. If not, we'll do another dense item duct here. Well, it's not really going to matter because it's going to have to travel through it anyways, so. But that's starting to fill up, so that's good. I don't know. We'll give it a little bit, and then if worst comes to worst, we'll figure something out. I mean, I could always put a conduit here. That would be fine. Or we could work on, because we're going to have to start making a magma crucible and fluid transposer before long anyways. We could upgrade this to a signalum servo, and then all of our problems would be solved because it's going to extract a bit faster. But I mean, right now, it's, yeah, there we go. It just hit the copper. So, I mean, I think it's going to be okay. It's, you know, it's just producing a lot of iron at the moment, so. But then again, whenever we have these two running also. But we'll see. But let's go ahead and make ourselves some sticks. We'll just toss that in there and there. Input on that side as well. It can start making iron picks, sending them to the auto clickers. And so basically what it's going to do is it's just going to cycle some of that iron back into here to produce what all this produces. So uranium and silver and redstone and gold and flint. So we'll be producing that also. And I'm thinking, yeah, this is going to start actually cooking the iron at this point. So we should actually see right now we have 21 iron. And it seems like it is keeping up pretty good. But it pulled out a bit of the iron there. Dumped into here. And you can see that the iron is then getting transported over here. And it will until these two slots on this chest back up. Really, one slot would probably be fine because it's going to stack like 6 stacks here. Yeah, let me just do one slot because I really don't need all that much to be sure. So the iron pick and the stone pick is now automated. And I don't really see, at this point, I don't really see too much use in the specialized picks. Because, yeah, we could get 100% iron on the pick. But is it really going to matter? In the grand scheme of things, is it really going to matter when this is doing this? You know, and I mean, we could probably... I mean, that's 10 RF. Across the board, I think we could support it. But it is going to mean that we're going to be producing metals even faster. So I don't know if it's a great idea. But yeah, you can see the sequential fabricators are now pumping out new stone picks to the auto clickers whenever they can accept them. You know, whenever a pick breaks. And then it's just hanging out. They're not super busy. I don't know why I was going to do one for each one. I haven't a clue, to be honest. This works a lot better for us. And then, of course, we will have to feed these sticks, but that's not a big deal. Honestly, just the sticks that I have in there are going to last for a long time, so. Let's see, how's this? Ooh, this is going to back up. I can already tell you. That's going to back up. But I think... what I might do, I don't think it's going to matter too much because at the end of the day, this one's going to be pumping out iron. It should be able to keep this filled, you know, with the uranium and with the iron. And so what I'm going to do, it'll mean that not 100% of the iron and uranium when this is in need will be getting sent to it. About 50% or so will, but I don't think it really matters. Let's go ahead. Let's set that to ignore, and that way we got another servo running. And I might even add one here because this, otherwise it's probably going to start backing up pretty good, to be honest, with the upgraded speed. So yeah, maybe only a third of that will be going, but that's okay. Ignore redstone. Get to work. Oh, it's great. It's great, but it's working perfectly. I'm really, really happy. If we look inside of here, yeah, we've got about 2.5 stacks closing in on the iron one, so that's good. And you can see this, we already have 1,156 cobblestone at the moment. We are going to be sending this out, I think, to produce sand and gravel. We could even do it here, but I don't know, it might be a little bit cluttered then. This, I think, is just right. And I'm thinking do another separate... Nah, I don't know. Maybe just like a steel pick running up here. Once we get steel automated, I think that'd be good. And then at this point, if we want to make modularium, you know, we can grab ourselves a couple stacks of that, a couple stacks of this. So there's that. And then we can just pop over... I mean, the uranium will be the slower thing, I guess. But I think, overall, I think the stone pick resources are going to see more use than the uranium one will. And then there is 64 modularium blend, which we can then turn into modularium. A full stack of modularium with little effort. It's great. And that's just going to make our lives a little bit easier. I'll still need to let that run. Honestly, I'm starting to think maybe the buffers are a little bit too small on... Whoops. What in the world? I got wither? It's getting a little bit backed up in spots, but I think it's going to keep up pretty well. I mean, I guess if not, I can run another servo off the back. But, I mean, are these staying... These are staying smelting. It may just be the furnaces aren't wanting to keep up right now. But we can make... Now, at this point, we can make... the reinforced upgrade kits. So a little bit expensive, but it might be worth upgrading our furnaces and adding additional auxiliary reception coils at this point, just to kind of speed them up, because it is going to be chunking out materials. So that might be something to consider, to be honest. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and make a little bit more hardened glass so we can make some reinforced upgrade kits and speed those furnaces up, because they're a little bit too slow at the moment, and that is going to cause us some issues. So I'd like to get that taken care of real quick. And for our obsidian, we can just do that real quick. There we go. We'll probably do an automatic system. It's going to be faster than using the igneous extruder, and we've done some setups in the past with that, because you can just have the water placed down, and then you know, something pumping in lava, and then something just like any kind of extract, like even a hopper or like a item conduit or something like that, just pulling out the obsidian, and it creates kind of an infinite, like super fast obsidian generation system, about as fast as you can pump in lava. I think we're gonna have to pulverize this back down into grit to run it with the you know, in the induction smelter. It's not a big deal. It should be faster than pulverizing obsidian, I think. I might go ahead and just speed that up. I don't have an auxiliary reception coil right now, but probably make a few here in a minute. But we are using the pulverizer a bit, so may as well go ahead and speed that up. So I'll have to, right now I'll have to pulverize this. I'll probably later on store up some dust. But at the moment, I'm going to store iron and uranium, and I think that's probably pretty good for us. I do think I'm going to increase the threshold of uranium stored and iron stored. Maybe double it. But I'm going to wait until we get a little bit of iron, because we are running low on iron. I didn't have a whole lot, and making all these machines and stuff really cut into it. So I'm going to let it build up materials, I think, before I increase the threshold, because I'm going to be needing those metals before I'm going to need more compact machines, I think. So I am going to do that. But there's our reinforced upgrade kits. Pop back into there. We did get a quest complete. Did that... no, that doesn't give us a reward. Most of the quests don't. Yeah, we're going to need it bad. Let's go ahead. Upgrade these guys. They're going to start taking care of these metals quite a bit quicker. But I do think power is going to start becoming an issue at this point. Well, maybe. I don't know. Once I throw the auxiliary reception coil in, I'm thinking that it might be. This thing's just like making material so fast. And look at just constant stream of iron coming through. That's filled up. That's filled up. Yeah, we can definitely afford to increase the buffers on this, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and go... Okay, so there's half and half on that. Go ahead and just for organization's sake, move that around. Alright. I think I'm going to do that. Okay. So that's pretty good on storage, I think, for uranium and for iron. Just for crafting those, that modularium for right now. We'll store it up a little bit better. Well, we won't be using it later on, but for right now, that should be good. It's doing all right. It looks like it is cutting into those. Yeah, it's cutting it down to where we're not like sitting on crazy amounts of iron. We may not even need a redstone reception coil or auxiliary reception coil at this point, because you can see it ate through that iron finally. Oh, but you know what? It's probably because it's going into here now. And once that buffer fills up, it's probably going to back up. I don't know. There goes silver and gold. I love this, though. It's just like a constant stream of metals. Look, we're making electrum. The vacuumulator can't even keep up. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put on a servo here also. Ignore redstone. That way it can help drain out this vacuumulator. Because it doesn't matter too much that it goes into the buffer. And we're going to say this is going to be the left side. Output that. Yeah, I don't even need a servo for this. So whatever. Yeah, it's sending it up into here. So as long as there's space for it, you know, it's going to send that stuff out. It's going to help empty out that vacuumulator a little bit. You know, as long as the furnace is cooking those metals, it's also going to be able to pump out the redstone and flint and stuff from this and send it over. This is probably going to start backing up next. So yeah, we're going to have to push the signal pretty quick, I think, because we're just going to be swimming in metals with the system. And it really, overall, it wasn't that expensive to set up. I kind of overkilled it with like sequential fabricators, and I made a bunch of hoppers and things that I really didn't need. And we probably will end up adding some kind of void system. Does this pack have... I know it doesn't have like trash cans and stuff, but that's fine. We can just use lava and have it sent to lava. But does it have deep storage or anything like that? Or... I mean, I know... Yeah, I guess we could just do like really dedicated deep storage with refined storage. And that would work okay. I may need, realistically, I may need to slow this down just a little bit because it's going to back everything up until we move on to signal them. So I'm going to set this all down to a 2. I think a 2 is plenty reasonable for us, and then we'll bump it back up to a 3 once we get signal them. I really like the speed of 3 because it's just like non-stop materials, like just constantly pouring through. And I think maybe get upgrades for our furnaces too, because it is struggling. Get upgrades to the furnaces and then get signal them servo for this for sure. And I think that's going to be good for us. Now, one thing I do want to do, we're going to check and see how many materials we have in just a moment. But I want to run out this. I'm going to turn that off. And we're going to put in another small compact machine here. And we're going to get into what that's for come next episode. And it's going to have an item duct here also. So we'll get into what that's for next episode. But this episode, I know it's about wrapping up point. I thought we'd get a little bit further, but I kind of wanted to watch it and see how things were doing on camera and go over kind of the routing, because of course working with item ducts, it's a little bit more involved than something like item conduits, because, you know, item conduits I don't have to worry about the kind of the routing of it overall, because with like a dense item duct, I can't have, like, for example, I can't have items moving along through here in a dense item duct saying, you know, low priority on this, and then a vacuum over here saying high priority on this. You know, it doesn't work out as well when using item ducts as it does with item conduits. So routing and stuff and filters a little bit more important, I think, with item ducts than with conduits. So something I wanted to go over on camera. If we pop out to here, we take a look here. We've got 809 silver. We've got 1441 on redstone, 637, 848, 96, 253, 710 already. That's kind of nice. We got 279 on nickel. This stuff, of course, we'll get more of once we start actually running steel picks, as far as the thorium, boron, magnesium, and lithium. Actually, we've got, once it starts running it, we got a whole lot of copper right here. So, and I probably will end up making auxiliary reception coils for these furnaces because they are a little bit slow. Let me go ahead and just do that real quick. They're cheap enough that it doesn't really matter. We've got tons of gold. We've got tons of all these metals, so we'll go ahead and toss that in there. Toss that into there. Hopefully we got enough power to run all this. If not, that's fine. Making another tiny compact machine engine system, it's not going to be hard at all at this point. Yeah, it is starting to struggle. But, I mean, it's not running out of power because, of course, the way that thermal machines work is as they get more power in their buffer, they run faster, but they do consume more RF, slightly more RF. You can see 101. As it builds up, we should see a 102. And it's going to go up to a 120 RF per tick at maximum. But it's going to become increasingly faster as well. So, but you can see it is draining this one out at the moment. But it will stop at some point. It'll have enough power. But yeah, I probably will add another engine to this. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. I've got some fun stuff planned for next episode. We got 1 or 2 more episodes, I think, before we start pushing progression again, because I wanted to just take some time and do kind of some fun setups and have a bit of fun before we push progression again. So, and it puts us in a really good spot so that the pack is a whole lot less grindy than if we kept grinding out materials. You know, this is going to make our lives way more easier because at this point we really just don't even have to worry about metals whatsoever. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.